So, over the past few months, I've seen the finance nerds go at Dave Ramsey. Now, you know I'm a Dave Ramsey fan, but that doesn't mean I agree with everything he says. But about this, I agree, and that's the 4% rule. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to explain that in the video. But also, I'm going to give you my perspective on this whole back and forth with the 4% withdrawal rate versus what Dave Ramsey says to withdraw 10%. So, stick around for that. My name is Adrian. This is Always Talk Money, where we talk personal finance, life, and anything else that can help you to level up financially. If that sounds good to you, please go ahead, leave a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, become part of the family. We make new videos like this every single week. Now, what is the 4% rule? The 4% rule is a study that was done many, many years ago called the Trinity study. And basically, what it was is if you had a certain amount of dollars invested in the market, returning, let's say, 10% year on year, there's a safe withdrawal rate that you may never have to touch the principal. So basically, to explain that in layman's terms, let's say at retirement you had $1 million in the S&P 500. That $1 million is continually going to earn 10% in interest year on year. Now, with the study, it says that if you withdraw 4%, so that would be $40,000, you will never have to touch the principal for the rest of your life. That means your $1 million will be there until infinity and beyond. And that's based on inflation, that's based on what the market does. So that's the basic gist of the 4% rule. Now, Dave Ramsey says if you have $1 million invested, it's going to earn 10% year on year. So you can go ahead and withdraw the whole 10% and never ever have to touch the principal. And this is where the finance nerds, the spreadsheet bullies, are coming at Dave Ramsey saying he's wrong. Even his own co-host, George Camel, he is also a proponent of the 4% rule. And there was a video, a clip of Dave Ramsey saying that George was wrong by giving advice regarding the 4% rule. Now, regardless of which side you are on, let me know in the comments down below what you think. But I'm going to take a little bit of a different angle on this. And my opinion is not going to be based off of numbers. It's going to be based off of real people, real life, and how human nature is, because I'm a student of psychology. Those are my favorite types of books to read. I love studying humans. I'm fascinated by the human mind. You're not going to live forever. So why would you want your money to never, ever, 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 ever outlast you, right? Let's say you withdraw 10% and in year 20 in your retirement, you're running low on cash. Okay, that's fine. I understand that. But there's always ways that you can mitigate and readjust as you see fit, because that is life. If you live life based off of a spreadsheet, you are going to have a miserable life, in my opinion. On YouTube, there's a guy called Brian Johnson, I think it is, and his whole thing is he's trying to reverse aging. He's trying to not die, as he says, and he lives this very sterilized life where everything is measured down to the millisecond. His sleep, everything he eats, everything he does, is measured down to the millisecond. To me, he's already dead, if you know what I mean, because he's missing out on a very good aspect of human nature, of human life. And that's the freedom to do what you want to do, the freedom of choice, the freedom to express yourself, the freedom to basically go with your emotions. We have highs, we have lows, and so on and so forth. So while I do agree that you should have good principles in terms of your personal finance, using a budget, investing, saving, always trying to increase your income, you should not make that be the be all end all of how you live. You should not live your life off of a spreadsheet. And a good example of this is in the fitness space, you have people who count their macros, count every single calorie, won't work out if it's not the exact temperature. They take all these vitamins, these minerals, and all these types of things. And then if you ever been around someone like that, you're like, man, this person is insufferable. And personally, I can speak from experience. I'll put a picture up of me in the best shape that I've ever been in right here. And guess what? I didn't count any calories. I didn't count any macros. All I did was follow best practices and exercise. That's all I did. So I ate a balanced diet, fruits, vegetables, protein, meat, rice, all that good stuff. And I exercised 5 to 6 times a week. And that's all I did. And I just got in incredible shape. Now, everybody's not going to look like that because it also depends on your genetics, your body type, and so on and so forth. But the point I'm trying to make is health is not counting your macros, counting every single calorie, counting every single milligram of sugar that you intake, because you are missing the key to life. Again, as I said, you're not going to live forever. So why would you want your money to outlast you? And you might say, Adrian, what about my inheritance? What about leaving things behind for my family? I understand that and I get that. But you know what's better than leaving an inheritance when you die? Is helping your kids when you're young. How many of you would be further ahead if your parents even just paid for your college, paid for the down payment of your first home, if they had a business that you could start to work for them when you got to 20, 21, 22 years old? Because the way I look at it, if I die in my 80s, right, and I'm looking to leave an inheritance for my kids, my heirs, and so on and so forth, guess what? I'm in my 80s, they're going to be in their 60s or in their 50s. At that point, sure, money is great, but at that point, their life is pretty much set in stone. Their life is pretty much what it is. What's even better than an inheritance is not only giving it to them when they're 20, giving it to them when they're 22, when they're starting to start out life, but what about teaching them the basics of personal finance from their 11 years old, 12 years old, showing them that working hard, showing them that building something for yourself, letting them understand the difference between net worth, income, debt, investments, and so on and so forth. Those are valuable lessons that if you give a young person, they can take that to the moon and then they can build their own fortune, not waiting for you to die so you can leave them something. Guys, if this video is bringing you value so far, please go ahead and leave a like for the YouTube algorithm, as well as subscribe to become part of the family. We make new videos like this every single week. The next point I want to make is you worked hard. If you are retiring with a good nest egg, congratulations. I'm so proud of you, right? Because you busted your butt from your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and probably even in your 60s. So you have this great nest egg. And now in retirement, when everybody says, hey, put in your time, work for 40 years, get a good retirement, and then you can have fun. But guess what? Now in retirement, they're saying, oh, hold on, wait a minute, John. Make sure you have a safe withdrawal number. Make sure you withdraw 4%. Making sure you're consulting your spreadsheets every morning to see how much money you can spend. If you busted your butt all this time to save all this money to enjoy your retirement, why are you then living in your retirement off of a spreadsheet? And I get it, you have to be prudent with your money, you can't be wasteful, and so on and so forth. But in your retirement is when you should be having a little fun, not living off of a dang spreadsheet. And I don't want that for any of you guys, right? I want you to live a life of abundance. But what these spreadsheet nerds and these finance bullies don't understand is as you get older, life just kind of gets cheaper. Yes, a lot of your expenses are going to shift, like your medical expenses are going to increase. But guess what? A lot of your other expenses are going to go down. When you're in retirement, you don't have any kids anymore. So that's one expense gone out the window. You don't have enough energy to do all the social things that you used to do when you were younger. So that's expense gone out the window. Your appetite is not that of a young person. So you eat much less. You require less space, time, and energy for everything in your life. If you notice, most old people are very content with a good cup of coffee and just watching The Price is Right all day. Judge Judy, things of that nature, just daytime TV and the news. Where are you spending all this money at? You're not, right? You're not. And as you get older and older into retirement, as your body starts to break down, you're definitely not leaving the house. So if you're in your late 50s, early 60s, spend the money early and often. Take your wife on that cruise. Go on that world traveling safari vacation. Because I promise you, at 75, you're not going to have the energy to do it. You're probably not going to have the health to do it. I think a big problem I have with these finance nerds is that they assume that you always have more time later. Now is the time to take advantage of right now. You have to be proactive in what you do right now. Try to make more money now. Try to save now, but also try to have experiences now. Practice, yes, delayed gratification for 3 to 5 years when you're younger, but not when you're older. Like when you're older, you're on the back nine of life. You don't have time for any of that stuff. You need to be going on your bucket list and enjoying your finances, enjoying the things that you've worked for 40 and 50 years. Now, I'm not telling you not to follow the 4% rule or to follow Dave Ramsey and withdraw 10% in your retirement. Do what you want to do. That's why we are human beings. That's why we have freedom to move, freedom to speak, freedom to do whatever we want to do. That's the beauty of life. All I say is practice the good bits of personal finance, saving, investing, budgeting, and so on and so forth. Don't go crazy. But don't go crazy one way or the other. I'll teach you about frugality, but I don't tell you to just live on $1 a day, right? or I'll teach you to spend and enjoy your money, but don't go ahead and spend your retirement in just one fell swoop. Time is the one asset that we cannot get back. Time is the most important asset, right? Money come and go. You've seen people go from broke to rich to rich to broke and back again. It goes in cycles. It is what it is. The real value is your time. Before I leave, I want to ask you one question. I want you to answer in the comments down below. If I gave you $10 million right now, but I told you the minute I gave you that $10 million, you will only have 1 year to live, would you take it? Answer me in the comments down below. But if I'm guessing right, I think 99.9999% of people would not take it because they know the value of having more than 1 year to live is greater than $10 million. And that's the point I'm trying to get. Don't live your life off of a spreadsheet. Always practice good habits of personal finance, money mindset, and all that good stuff. But don't leave your life on a spreadsheet, guys. Just please leave a like for the video. My name is Adrian. Subscribe, sign up for the weekly newsletter. Top link in the description down below. But you have a great, wonderful rest of your day and just live some life today. Peace.